I'm back on Twitter. I have been for like a year. I haven't mentioned it until now. I assumed people would find me of their own accord. My new handle is almost identical to my old one. It's Hampshire1 instead of Hampshire I lost 7,000 followers and have only recouped about 600 of them since that time. And before you ask me, after I got banned, like 100 fucking people independently came to me and asked me, "Why do you get banned? Why do you get banned?" I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. They didn't tell me. I appealed. My appeal was denied. But I'm back on Twitter now, so if you want to follow me, that's the new account to do it at. Before we get started with the video proper, I thought I'd do a little e-begging. But not the usual Patreon e-begging. This is a new, innovative type of e-begging you've never seen before. I'm about to launch my first trad-pubbed book. God fucking damn it, you piece of shit. I love you. Move your butt. Move your. My first trad-pubbed. My first trad-pubbed book, which is going to be a short story anthology with 8 short stories in it, called Reports from the. There we go. There. Reports from the Institute. The anthology will include Upon the Shadow of Nothing, If That Looking Glass Should Break, Down in the Steam Tunnels, Mansionarium, The Background of Your Memories, The Last Dance, There Is Light Below, and The Road Less Traveled. These short stories deal with themes such as unintentional dimensional travel, oneironautics, which is the organized exploration of lucid dreams, interdimensional parasites, which are the cause of aging, pseudoscience, which I've written about at length before, such as Wilhelm Reich's concept of orgone and orgonometry and whatnot, Lawsonomy for Alfred Lawson, Hans Horbitger's world ice theory, eugenics, shadow people, the whole shadow people lore and whatnot, Abraxas stones, Gnosticism, underwater colonies built in the 1970s as a headquarters for a suicide cult. I don't know if I'm selling this adequately. When I say unintentional dimensional travel, I'm not talking about Narnia. There's literally one where he goes to McDonald Land. Like imagine Half-Life, but instead of Gordon going to Zen, he goes to the creepy old 1970s McDonald Land, like from the commercials. I'm not making this up. That's an actual thing that happens in one of the stories. Fun stuff. Don't miss out or forever suffer the pain of regret and wonder what might have been. Let's have a look at the Indiegogo, which is how we're going to fund actually printing this. This is going to be an honest-to-God paper book you can hold in your hands. That's what TradPubbed means. It'll be my first physical book I can hand to people and point to them for them to buy. It comes with backer benefits. At some of the higher tiers, you actually get props from the stories, like the orgonometric optical detector, which is a fancy name for a round-lensed, rose-tinted half of sunglasses. Warning, does not actually detect orgone, because orgone doesn't exist. It was the fever dream of a horny German psychoanalyst from the 1930s. That's a good look at what the final book should look like. Haven't received any production samples yet, but it's going to be nice. Some of the stretch goals include dust jackets and other niceties that should make it look more polished. There is the URL. The Indiegogo should be live tomorrow after the launch stream, in which I will be interviewed briefly. Reserve your first editions today. These are going to be a little bit costly, $35, because they are first editions. We need to recoup the costs. I'm also kind of an unproven aspiring author, which is part of it, but this is how you get your swank backer benefits, including not just the orgonometric optical detector, but also an Abraxas pin. If you want to know the Gnostic lore behind Abraxas amulets, which were originally carved into stone, Abraxas stones, you can run that through Google. A lot of my work contains real-world details, or at least real historical misunderstandings and magical thinking that are what make the stories interesting and sort of ground them partially in reality, 1 foot in reality and 1 foot in unreality. After all, if I've learned anything at all from writing fiction, it's that sometimes it's better to be wrong in an interesting and beautiful way than it is to be right. Some of our most compelling dreams, and in fact some of the best fiction ever written, was just beautiful intentional misunderstandings of reality. I digress. hit up the Indiegogo if you want to support me. I've been trying to break out as an author for some time. You've probably heard me do story times on stream. This is how I turn that into something bigger and hopefully get to where I can fund some of my more ambitious project ideas. I'm sitting here in the car. I'm a hungry homie. And we're going to be opening some MREs. These are MRE unboxing, I guess, taste tests. They have the Mexican style chicken stew and the spaghetti with meat sauce, and I don't know how much my opinion of this matters to you, because I think this is food. So that's where my palate is at. Take that under advisement. 2018 is actually pretty good. I remember the one that I was looking at were all 2015s. Supposedly these things keep really well though, so what is the expected? It's like 25 years? You could probably push that a little bit if you're willing to be adventurous, gastrointestinally speaking. And a lot of this stuff is firmly in that territory, as you're already looking at. And these are things you're going to be punishing the toilet with later. And poor Mr. Toilet, what did he ever do to deserve all of this? And see? This is where the utensils are. Candies and crackers. I wonder what's the... I think it's a psychological benefit for that. It's more for morale than anything else. I don't know.
Quick energy burst.
To me, that speaks to like the morbid, focus on recruiting kids in high school and shit like that. Basically, it's taking them straight out of high school and saying, you don't have to figure out life. You don't have to figure out how to live on your own and support yourself. We're just going to give you these dorms in which you can live with all your high school buddies. You just go kill for the government, and you get all these fucking cafeteria meals, and you put all these other different mixes together, and don't think about it too hard.
America!
Yeah. And, God, there's a lot. There's cocoa mix. Wow, we can make cocoa.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what to do first. This is like putting together a fucking Gundam. Oh, God. Oh, it's everywhere. Look at this. You can't really... No, you can't put it back in the package. It's like trying to unbirth a baby. Like all that weird DeviantArt stuff I showed you earlier. Looks like a Hot Pocket. I've often wished that all
your meals, yes.
all the things could be prepared like a Hot Pocket.
All right. You want to place the main meal packet in here.
Oh.
Here's where it opens. Now.
And then we use the chemical heater, the self-heating thing, to begin our ritualistic self-immolation in a sense to Atreya godhood.
All praise Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Awesome, please.
No, of course not Cthulhu. That would be absurd.
One thing you can always trust the government is whether you're making lunch or launching a nuclear missile, there will always be instructions, step by step, detailing quickly and simply how to complete the desired task. And
that's true. Very. Then again, you thought we were worshiping Cthulhu. We're not even in the same cult. Awkward. So more raisins than expected, but unexpectedly also more peanut butter. So I guess things are looking up. But how does the introduction of apple jelly change this equation? It remains to be seen. Yeah, so now it's doing its thing, supposedly in there. I don't know if it says on the package what chemistry this is based in. If it's iron based, it's basically just a fuckload of those chemical hand warmers you've probably seen at convenience stores combined together. It's not that it's not powerful. I mean, that's kind of what I'm afraid of here, which is why we're doing it away from the car. So this is apparently an artificial bread product that, He doesn't swear by absolutely. I got the best jelly. I got apple jelly. Apparently, there's a couple of other more artificial ones that were less popular in his service. I don't know. I'll try it. I mean, in my perspective, a food only beats you if you won't eat it. What is it?
Milk chocolate.
Oh, is this the cocoa mix?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't wait to poop that. That's my toilet paper.
That's your toilet paper right there.
You dig your own hole and you poop and you cover it. There's actually a verse in the Bible all about how to do that. I'm not joking. I'm not yanking your chain. It's in Deuteronomy. It's like.
Yay! And as I squatted to shit.
Yeah, it's literally like that. It's literally Jews just saying when you need to relieve.
Forsooth, the shithole must be at least one
goat's length. Yeah, that's back in my day. We measured everything by lengths, and you got 40 hogsheads to the barrel, and that's the way I liked it.
Actually, it constipates you by design, so you don't have to shit as often.
That's intentional?
Yes.
Oh, that's devious.
It's helpful when you're in combat. You don't want to be shitting. So yeah, don't eat that. It also usually has a little bit of an amphetamine of some sort. Just
yeah, Pervitin was in wide use in World War II. There's a famous story about it's in Finland, like a Finnish soldier who's a sniper, who surely would have died if not for it, but he ate the entire roll is the problem. So he like single-handedly got up out of the snow, fought off this entire German battalion, went into the prison, got all of his guys out, took them all the way back to the fucking base, and did all this fucking 24 hours worth of ass kicking in like 12 minutes.
Well, that's how medals of honor are won.
That's the bread product you talked about. It's yeah, really? It's that bad, huh?
There was a starving dog in Bosnia in 1997 that wouldn't eat it.
Oh.
And I threw it a chunk.
That's something you could only get from Uncle Sam. That's your tax dollars at work.
Crackers or biscuits or whatever you want to call them are usually like mixing that with pouring the jelly on top.
Yeah.
Is one of the better parts of an MRE.
Really? Yeah, I don't feel like I'm getting the full effect. Taking this apart, my candy ass out here, able to eat whatever I want to. This would probably be much more dearly appreciated in the fucking dead of night in a desert somewhere. It's true though. I mean, I don't want to be gross. There's obviously a market for something like human chow, like general human food. That's what Soylent was. That's what Huel is for people who are adverse about the soy content. So clearly there are people out there who are just that nasty and want that. I'm that nasty. That's me. There's got to be like a midpoint between just like human chow and like whatever this is, the fucking cocoa mix afterbirth from Death Stranding.
That's why it's
$2.3 trillion spent in Afghanistan. We can't even have self-heating chocolate cocoa. Everything was for naught. Everything was wasted.
All is lost.
Are the noodles in there, or do you have to fucking hydrate your noodles separately? Are the noodles in there with the fucking beef sauce, or? Okay, good. If they made you like do some kind of ramen bullshit, I would undo the Iraq War. Good, and what he's pouring in there right now are my tears over my $2.3 trillion in wasted taxpayer money on the war in Afghanistan, which, I mean, we could have fought that war on the moon. We could have captured Osama bin Laden, transported him to the moon, given them like gold-plated rifles and spacesuits to fight us with. It would have been more beneficial to mankind than what we did. I didn't even realize I had the AC on still. Now I see it. My nipples are like pencil erasers. I could hit diamonds with it. In fact, that's what I'm doing with them right now. What have I done now? Don't open another one.
Yes.
Jesus.
You gotta have the crackers, man.
Please don't. Save that, please.
Dude, I've got a lot of these.
Please don't do that.
I seriously have more than a pallet of these.
You can't bust that open just for fucking crackers.
Yeah.
You gotta be ashamed of yourself.
Nope.
Hope they're really good crackers.
They are, if they have them. recording. All right.
It's apparently not what we give in food aid. What is this?
Well, what it says.
With maltodextrin. God damn.
It's good for you.
I can feel that in my balls. What is this? Oh, government cheese. Well, I mean, this is another morale item.
Here you go.
These are high schoolers.
Right.
These are high schoolers out killing for the government in the desert. If they can see some candy, if they can see some cookies and candy.
This is what it's all about. Until you've had MRE crackers.
Oh, I have not actually eaten an MRE. It's one of these ritualistic things.
It's important.
Open it. Was the big punchline going to be it tastes like ass?
No, it tastes like nothing.
Good, because I eat ass and I enjoy it, so that's not a bad flavor. Let me just inflict this on myself.
It's better with the jelly.
Almost $2.3 trillion worth. I can taste every bite of it. How's the
I'm gonna go look down right now.
Oh man. Don't get too fucking poke it with a stick. It's like my protocol for dead bodies. You know what? I was unfair earlier. Ass does taste better than these crackers. Especially if it's my cracker ass. How could the chemical self-heating have failed? How could our entire Middle Eastern war plan have failed?
Let me try.
I'm not joking. I see what you mean about these. Like, you have to try hard to fuck up crackers. Not anybody can fuck up crackers. Like, if you've ever eaten
You don't eat them plain, dude. You gotta put jelly on it.
Even if I put something on this though, like, you would expect the bare minimum to be like Ritz, right? Like a nice something with butter and salt. This is like eating disappointment. You know, Japanese MREs probably do actually contain a Gundam kit. Okay, I'm angling it downwards. I'm not getting your face in any of the shots. We're doing this up nice and professional, like it's snuff porn. So I don't do that anymore because they found out I wasn't using real clowns. I was just using people in clown costumes. You can taste the difference. Chocolate hazelnut powder for cocoa. This is the decadence the terrorists hate us for. Maybe they have a point. I wonder if all these have to legally be like kosher and halal.
No. They have separate for that.
They have separate for that, I was going to say. Probably nothing prevents them from satisfying all the different... is this good? Is this particularly popular?
Did you read it?
Cheese spread with jalapenos. Some of these are apparently very popular items with the guys, and they're highly sought after and traded. It's like a fucking prison economy. Presumably less sodomy. Why? Make them go away. Even just having these crackers around me is making me actively less happy and content with life. My life satisfaction is plummeting, and the closer I get to these crackers. Like, if I were to graph them, it would.
See?
That's a signature quality of me, is I don't take a lot of my own advice. It takes my life in many interesting directions. It results in me putting all kinds of strange things into my body and not paying too close attention to them. No. It doesn't really quite redeem the crackers. You didn't promise me that it would. You sent me in with literally no expectations, and I'm still disappointed. Like, you could shit on these crackers, and it would probably improve them. I think I might have a lawsuit after this. Ow, they fucking hurt to eat. Like, internally, it's like my body knows. My body's rejecting it. This is the shelf-stable cookie. It doesn't look that bad, actually. Never mind. Ah. It's hard all the way through. The only soft parts of it are the chocolate. Which I guess I should expect, given the age of the product. I don't know if this was intentional. It depends on if you're in the fucking master race of cookies should be chewy, or if you're one of the cookies should be crunchy plebeians. Like languishing down in the dungeons below.
I have an alternate solution for you, though.
I have a camping stove.
You have a kettle.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I'm an electric kettle. Shall we just use that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, funny story. Instead of getting the camping stove out, I remembered I have a power outlet in the trunk of my car that I actually put there at some considerable expense to myself. So, just plugged a kettle into that, and we boiled water that way electrically. Of all the damn ways you could fucking do that outdoors. Worked very well, though. Notably, solution I engineered myself and personally made sure works. Succeeded at the simple task of cooking food, where billions of dollars in taxpayer money were squandered on a product that doesn't really work. I mean, it did get the food warm, and to be fair, if this was a desert, the ambient temperature of the food packets would already be very high before you start cooking them. This is what made me such a difficult kid to take on fucking field trips and shit back in the day, because I'd have all this shit figured out to a really suspicious extent that none of the other kids did, with like a heated jacket, which I would then have to fucking take off and share with all the other kids who were cold, and they'd all get to spend their 20 minutes with it until the battery ran out, and we all learned an important lesson on that day about communism. Oh, let me try to drink it.
Careful.
Doesn't really work. I immediately regret this. You know what? It's not that bad. Honestly, if I was out there wasting my youth and $2.3 trillion in taxpayer money, this would be pretty comforting. It's not spaghetti. I don't know what this is. I'm sure Italians out there watching this are going to treat it like a murder of Italian man. That might actually have happened. That might be where this meat came from. That is funky. That is funky spaghetti, man. Oh. I'm starting to rethink the spaghetti Hot Pockets idea. And also many of the choices in my life that led me to this point. Is that just because we can't get fucking bread right? Or is this bread not keep? Because the cookie was bullshit. The crackers were double bullshit. I haven't even tucked into whatever the fuck this is yet. What is it? You think we could crack the code by now? You think there wouldn't be anything special about reproducing bread? What is that?
I urge caution.
This is some kind of Jewish bread. What is this?
Made without any ingredients.
You can eat this with the fucking jelly, though. If you saved it from your disappointment crackers. Instead of eating your regret jelly on your disappointment crackers, you could instead have them in your eternal lack of fulfillment bread. Wow. Wow. Every time I go into it expecting nothing, it's worse than that. I actually expected to be disappointed this time. It was worse than I thought it would be. That was really strange. I don't think this would comfort me if I was away from my family out killing for the government in the desert. I think this would make me want to
kill the ones that made it.
or like go switch sides and heal some of those guys or something. I don't know. I'm running out of material. The least you can say for it is that it's better having that than not having not having anything. This is not better than not having bread. Like, not having bread would be better than eating this. Just not eating anything. This is an insult to the memory of bread. I mean, on second thought, a lot of this stuff is shelf stable for fucking 25 years. And when certain compromises have to be made. And it's kind of it's still an impressive engineering product. Which is what it is, rather than food. And they should just describe it that way, as an engineering product. It'll temper your expectations better going into it. The logistics for something like this are as stupefying as the logistics for like McDonald's and their whole like train of everything they have to do around the world in order to raise the beef, in order to raise all this shit that goes into a fucking 99-cent double cheeseburger. Like, all that is really grotesque and kind of an indictment of capitalism or whatever else you want to call it. It's also kind of impressive on a different level, you know what I mean? Like that we're able to organize to such a high degree that we can bring together all the ingredients from all these different facets of agriculture into something that costs like a dollar. I guess the benefits outweigh the consequences, which is the nicest thing I can say about anything I've eaten tonight.
After God knows how much shuffling about.
That's all you can say in their defense, though.
That's all I need to say.
I can't guarantee anything about this fucking peanut butter. I don't trust it.
I've never had their applesauce, ever. So I have no comment or input about that.
You would think you couldn't fuck up peanut butter, but then you would also think that you couldn't fuck up crackers. In fact, I would wager I and the entire rest of the population of Earth is indifferent to raisins. I don't think that's unique to me.
Go. Have a cracker and put some peanut butter.
I've never known anybody who was ever excited about raisins. Oh no! That's going back in the package. You take that away, and then I was trying to forget about that. With time brings healing. Damn, I hate this stuff. I actively hate this stuff. I thought it was a mean cracker. I thought you were joking about how bad it was. But seriously, this is what Satan would eat if it wasn't ass. That. In fact, I may have spoken too soon. It may actually be ass. Oh, why did you dribble the last few on it? It made it so much spiritually worse than it needed to be. I'm going to be recovering from those crackers for another decade or two. How aggressively bad do you have to make a cracker? If we put like 1/10 of the effort into beating the Taliban that we put into making those crackers taste like asshole,
TP.
is that all you get?
TP for your bunghole.
I am Cornholio. Did they fuck up toilet paper somehow?
No, it works fine.
No. You say that. I'm not satisfied.
It works fine.
Okay. I mean, to your credit, the peanut butter is mostly.
It's actually pretty good.
It's mostly normal. I'm just forever gonna be just spiritually shook by the crackers, man. Oh, what is it?
It's beverage base cranberry grape.
Did they fuck this up too somehow?
Oh yeah, it's horrific. It's just full of electrolytes and things to keep you going in combat.
There's this shit that they serve aboard nuclear submarines, which is calculated to be as acidic as possible, because they don't just use it as a general purpose beverage. They also wash the hull with it.
I'm sure that's fine.
No, I'm not sure that's fine after what I've seen tonight. Nothing gets taken for granted. I mean, you don't get all the time in the world to eat, do you, in the military? Where you get like 20 minutes?
If you're eating MREs,
yeah,
you're probably not on a certain clock.
I was going to say, if you had to disassemble that fucking thing and put together the whole Gundam and then eat the fucking shit crackers and still make your SpaghettiOs, How would you have time left over for your cocoa?
Once you've done this a few times, you get your SpaghettiOs boiling, and you already shat out everything else by the time they're hot.
It's all time management. That's smart.
Look at it. Does it look even?
That would be just about the only way that they could fuck up a spoon.
It's not symmetrical.
By God, if they didn't do it. The moist towelette wasn't moist either. Stop. Cat, you can't eat air or wind. Trust me, I've tried. Here's the power bank using USB adapters to power the PC fans. This side pulls air in, forces it through the heat sink. This side spins the other way, expelling the air after it has carried heat away from the cooling fluid, which will circulate through these thingies here. Okay, powering it off the power bank was fine, but that would have required 2 power sources in the end. One for the fans, cat, god damn it, every time, and one for the 12-volt thermoelectric cooler itself. I warned you, if you stick your nose in there. Whenever I work on any kind of gadget, she always shows up and fucks with it. I think she wants to learn the wizardly ways. She's a sorcerer's apprentice. Anyway, I got a splitter, USB splitter, that lets me plug both of these fans, since neither one of them use the full power of a USB port. They use about 130 milliamps each. So they plug into the single USB port of my backpack battery, which also has a barrel plug output that can be set to one of 3 voltages, one of which is 12 volts, coincidentally. So I'm thinking if I finagle this right, I can run everything just off the backpack battery and use my regular backpack with the cooling vest to power it. How slick is that going to be? Well, cat? Typical. Cat, no. No, those are not for you. I need those. Okay? Keep those neat and tidy. Zip tying the cable here so that it's just one long cable and doesn't get all tangled up and shit. I see you. I know what you're thinking. Fucking knew it. She can't help herself. It's a sickness. There it is with some cable management done up all nice and pretty, or as close as I'm going to get, so that when I tug on this, it doesn't unseat these, which are very precariously plugged in since this isn't the right size. I couldn't guess from any of the pictures on Amazon what the right size sockets were, and there didn't seem to be any string of alphanumeric characters to indicate a model number or a standard to look for. But this, I just bought a bunch. If you ever wonder where a lot of the money for this project goes, it goes into trial and error with Amazon, although I recoup most of it by returning stuff. These plug in, they're just too large. So they stay in just from the friction of the pins. I'm going to go over it with electrician's tape. Other than that, though, it's pretty much good to go, except for the 12-volt connection, which will solder to this, except that this is also the wrong barrel plug format. I have adapters that might fix that. If not, I'll just do more trial and error trying to find the exact correct barrel connector wire end, because on Amazon you can just buy the end of a cable like this for very cheap, so it's not expensive to just buy a bunch and eventually hope to hit the right one. Then this all will plug into my backpack, just a single power source, and I can buy more batteries to swap them from the company that makes that backpack, or I can just rely on the solar panel to stretch out the supply. I mean, when it's sunny, it's also hot, and that's when you need cooling. I needed to get the soldering iron out for this. I'm probably not going to do that for this video, but I'll just bend it over on itself and then tape it like I did here to keep the stress off of the cable. This will accept up to 180 watts. My battery won't supply that, but I don't think there's any kind of regulator circuitry in here. I think it's like a resistive heater. It takes as much as you can give it. If there's any kind of regulation, it's on the upper end to prevent you from burning it out. I wouldn't even count on that. But I'm going to have the opposite problem. I'm not going to be able to supply it as much as it wants, but not far from it. I mean, that thing in my backpack will charge a laptop, and the laptop's energy requirements are pretty close, but not at the maximum that this will accept. So I anticipate that still working fine, just not to its optimal performance. I guess we'll see.